Using discussion boards to connect learning inside and outside the classroom. By Nancy Stone Pinchot. Advances in technology have brought communication tools right to our fingertips. Computers have gone from room size to hand size, from desktop to laptop. And now many technology tools have the same abilities as full-size computers. The internet and social networking has connected people like never before with MySpace, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Skype. It brings people from all around the world together, or people from across the street. Discussion boards are all over the internet and can be found on any topic of interest: college sports, professional sports, everybody's favorite television shows on any and every network, politics, bands and singers, and the music that we love. Religion, the past, the present, and the future. You can find just about any topic of interest to discuss on the internet.
A great way to engage students in learning outside the classroom is to use discussion boards to extend the communications beyond the four walls of your classroom. Discussion boards are asynchronous with their communications, which means people don't have to be in the same place or at the same time to use the discussion boards. You may be wondering, why should you use discussion boards? Well, here are some top reasons.
Students are given an extended amount of time to think about what they want to say and reflect on that, allowing them to form a deeper understanding that builds once they read their classmates' posts. Discussion boards give students a chance to pose questions and lead discussions, whereas in the classroom, it's normally the teacher in the lead role. There is a stored record of conversations that can be referenced for grades, later conversations, and for anecdotal records. Finally, students who are shy and normally will not speak up in class have a sense of anonymity that encourages them to speak up, so to speak, and to participate more fully.
So now you may be asking yourself, what are some ways that I can incorporate discussion boards? Well, here's a few ideas. Discussion boards can be used to explore differences of opinions. Students can take the pro and the con of an issue, and they can discuss it fully. They can tell the who, what, when, where, and why of their side, and then discuss other people's opinions as well. Discussion boards can also be used to provide critiques and feedback for students. Students can post their rough drafts of their projects. Teachers and peers can go on and give them feedback so they can take that information and put it to use in their final drafts. Mentoring is another way discussion boards can be used. Students in all levels of education can come together to work on projects, to give advice, to give feedback, and to let each other know what's going on with announcements and that sort of thing. There are some very specific students who can do well with discussion boards. Students who are learning English as a second language have a very high rate of enthusiasm and success when using discussion boards. They use the boards to perfect their English, and they also use them as ways to find the proper way to say things. It's a great tool for ELL students. Teachers always want their students to be successful. In order to be successful in a discussion board, you need to let the student know exactly what you're looking for in their answers. Give them points and show them how they're getting their grade. This will clear up a lot of mistakes. Here's a few examples.
Here's an example of a question that you can use on discussion boards. The solar system. We've been studying the solar system and planets. Which planet is your favorite and why? Include at least 3 facts about the planet in your answer, and this question is worth 30 points. Let's see how those points are given. 10 points will be given to the student that creates an answer to the question and includes the name and at least 3 facts about the planets chosen. If students don't follow directions, they get points deducted. The next 10 points are given to the students who post their work on time. No late work is accepted. The final 10 points comes from students respectfully commenting on at least 2 other students by the posted due date. If students do not respond, they also lose points. Please note that if you want your students to use proper grammar and spelling, it should be included in the criteria for grading, and students should be made aware of this. This is especially important for students who are ELL and for those with disability.
I use discussion boards every week in my classroom. I especially like to use them in our reading classroom. My students go on to our discussion board and they will discuss the books that they're reading, the characters in their books, or specific questions that I've given them. They are required to go on and post to 2 other students and respond to what they've said in their posting. Here's a few examples.
What book are you currently reading? Give a summary of the book so far and predict what may happen. Reply to at least 2 other students' book posts and discuss their book. Please don't give away the endings. Here's the grading criteria. There are 10 points possible for this post. I give 5 points for the summary, 3 points for the prediction, and 2 points for thoughtful responses to classmates. Here's an example from one of my students named Haya. The book I'm reading is called The Romeo and Juliet Code. It is about a girl named Felicity, and her parents left her in the mail with her uncle. Her parents sent her 3 letters, and now she is determined to find out the truth about why her parents left. Well, if you look back at the grading criteria, you will see that Haya did a summary of the book, but she didn't tell a prediction. And she did later on go and reply to other students. So her score for this would be a 7 out of 10. A bonus for doing discussion boards about books is that other students get excited about what their classmates are reading. For example, after reading Haya's post, Annabella said, "Haya, your book sounds amazing. I guess it relates to Romeo and Juliet. Wow, I might even go out and buy it." Michelle said, "Haya, honestly, your book sounds really good." So they get excited about what's going on in their classmates' books. My next example is Esther. Now, everything Esther said can't be put on the screen, so I'm going to read it to you. I'm reading Red Pyramid by Rick Riordan. Carter's a little curious about why her dad always says that nothing is going on when something is really happening. Her dad has to always check the hotels before he can go in, and he was also not relaxed until the plane left the ground. I think that something will happen to the dad and Carter will have to rescue him. Sadie Carter's sister lives with her grandparents, and she only visits twice a year. So you can see from this that Esther put in all the details, as well as going back to respond to other people's posts. Great job. Now, as you probably noticed from my students' discussion boards, they didn't have all the spelling and grammar correct. Well, that's because my students and I had a discussion about grammar and spelling, and they made a clear and convincing argument that discussion boards are a free form of communication that shouldn't be restricted by rules of grammar. They were like text messages and emails. So I let it go. In future classes, this may not be the case, but for this class, I made an exception.
Well, I hope you've learned a lot about discussion boards through my video. My hope is that you'll take the time to figure out how you can incorporate discussion boards into your classroom to expand your learning beyond the four walls of your classroom. Have a great day.